Hi students, again this is Algebraic, and in this example, or this video, we are going to translate phrases from words to algebraic expressions. Okay, now here's an example of a phrase, the sum of 5 and a number. So you want to look at some of the trigger words here, and we want to write this as an algebraic expression. Whenever you see this, a number, so the sum of 5 and a number, or it might say and some number, that means it's 5, the sum of 5 and something. So that indicates your variable at that point right there. So that means we want to represent the number that's unknown with a variable, and usually we use x or n, so we'll say x. So we're going to replace that with an x. So we have the sum. So what are we doing with the x? That's the next thing we ask. So the sum of 5 and a number. The sum, that's the word right there, sum, that indicates the operation. So you want to look at that. So sum is the operation being used. So sum. So this operation, when you see sum, that's addition. And you know addition uses a plus sign. Alright, so sum would be a good trigger word for that. Some other words that indicate addition, added to would indicate addition. Some other things, more sometimes could be used for addition. Of course, plus. You can see the word plus. So a lot of these words indicating addition can be thrown into a phrase. So the sum of 5 and a number. You could see 5 more than a number. Then you also got to, you got to think about the order. So we have the sum of 5 and a number. Alright, so now we know we're going to call the number x. And what are we doing with the 5 and the x? We're adding them together. Now the order is important too. It's the sum of. So if you see the phrase the sum of, the order remains the same. 5 plus x. So that's the algebraic expression that represents the sum of 5 and a number. So again, for addition, you're looking for some of these keywords. Sum, added to, more or more than, and plus. Okay, so let's look at another example. A number minus 4. So there it is. There's a number. That's going to be our x. Here's our operation right here, minus. So this operation is subtraction. The minus sign, right? So some trigger words for subtraction: minus, or subtracted from, less or less than. For example, you can have 4 less than a number, which would be x minus 4. So a number minus 4. So those are some trigger words for subtraction for that operation. So now we have a number minus 4. So what are we doing with these? We are taking the number and subtracting 4 from it. So a number minus 4. Alright, now you got to pay attention to the order as well. If you wanted to use subtracted from, you would have to say 4 subtracted from a number. Four subtracted from a number would also produce x minus 4. because you are taking 4 away from the number x. So look at the order though. The 4 comes first, 4 subtracted from a number. But the one that we just did, a number minus 4, has the x first, a number first. So they produce the same thing. You just got to really pay attention to the order as well. Here's an example, a number subtracted from 48. A number subtracted from 48. All right, so subtracted from, that's going to indicate the operation of subtraction. So there's a minus sign involved here. A number, that's going to indicate the x. Now, is it x minus 48 or 48 minus x? Well, the number's being subtracted from the 48, so the 48 goes first. 48 minus x. Okay, it's real tricky. You got to pay attention to the order here. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Product. Product of 6 and a number. All right, so here's our x. Product. That's an operation. So product means multiplication. Some trigger words that you can see for multiplication is product, or product of, or times. You might see times as well for that. Multiplied, you might see. Alright, so we know that the operation occurring here is multiplication. And multiplication, the symbols for that is either a times symbol like that, or a dot, or you can use parentheses to indicate multiplication. So the product of 6 and a number. So there's multiplication involved. What are you multiplying together? 6 and the number. So you can write, if you wanted to, 6 times x, but we don't really write it that way. We're a little more sophisticated because we know that if you just wrote 6x, that means 6 times x. Okay, whenever you see a number next to a variable like that, that indicates multiplication. So the product of 6 and a number. Let's look at the last one here. 9 multiplied by the sum of a number and 5. Okay, this one's tricky here. 9 multiplied by, so there's a, we're doing something with a 9. We're multiplying the 9 by something. What are we multiplying it by? All right, it's an expression. The sum of a number and 5. The sum of a number and 5. There's our number, x. So the 9 is being multiplied by a sum. There's another operation. So this might require the use of parentheses. So I bracketed the phrase, the sum of a number and 5. So how do you just write the sum, which means addition, of a number and 5? It's x plus 5. Now, you're multiplying 9 by this, which means you need to put that in a grouping symbol, parentheses. And then you need to put the 9 out front. So you may have heard 9 times the quantity, x plus 5. Because 9 is being multiplied by a sum. So 9 times the sum of x plus 5. Okay, so those are just a few examples. Again, look for your operation words. Multiply, sum, subtract, minus, things like that. And then look for the number. When you see a number, that's going to represent your variable. And also try to pay close attention to the order in which you write things as well. Okay, again, this is Al Drushler. If you have questions, please contact me as soon as possible.